Hello, everyone from around the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is AS Eat the Pair, commentating as usual for the Nordic Classic. I am joined by Old Dirty H. Say hello, Oldie.
Hello, I'm back.
All right, so today we have a very exciting match. It is going to be the final match of the division that's going to matter for top eight. This is the playoff match for Old Papi Nutz versus Last Minute. A very important match. The winner, this is a pretty straightforward win and in. The winner goes to top eight, the loser's out. So really, really important match for both teams. Let's take a look at the players on each team. For Old Papi Nutz, we have Old Dirty H, Rui, Arb Nutz, and the Ferkman. And up against them, we have Last Minute with Bonton, Brontavas, Wizard, and Meta Heuristics. Oldie, this is your team. How are you feeling going into the match? Did you feel favored? Did you feel slightly behind? Were there a lot of nerves or anything?
No, I think we felt pretty confident. I mean, this is a solid team, especially with Wizard. He's a pretty good player. We've seen them throughout the tournament, but overall, we felt pretty confident going in, but didn't want to take them lightly. So, yeah, it was definitely a matchup we're looking forward to.
Yeah, definitely. I've been looking forward to this match for quite a while because I've heard some rumors of hype. So I'm pretty excited. Hope we can get a nice little match here. And all these, so these bands are most likely right?
Yeah,
Okay,
close
so
enough.
we do see Last Minute have banned Japanese, Indians, and Greeks, so Old Papi Nuts cannot pick Japanese, Indians, and Greeks. And on the other side, Last Minute can't pick Lakota, British, or Aztecs. That means Old Papi Nuts chose Lakota and British and Aztecs as their bands. Really exciting match.
Yeah.
Again, this is a top eight. This is a top eight qualifying match. The winner gets into the top eight, the losers out. So really, really important match for both teams.
And it is possible that Last Minute banned Greeks instead of Aztec. Maybe I have it backwards, but whatever. It's
Yeah.
one of
Well,
the
I
two.
mean, we'll see what the nations
we'll
are in
see.
the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
All
it was
right.
basically standard bans is the thing. It wasn't anything too crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Really interesting. I'm interested to see which of the last minute players will play. I think we've seen a bit of Meta Heuristics, who has been quite solid. But
Yeah.
I'm interested to see, which of Bonton and Brontavas plays because, I think they both have their flaws in terms of player skill compared to some of their teammates.
Yeah, they're definitely the lower two. Bronto's more of a rusher. Bonton's more of kind of like situational player.
Yeah.
But it's definitely Wizard and Meta Heuristics got to carry the torch here. They're definitely the top two. Wizard being by far the best, and then Meta Heuristics probably second place there.
Yeah. So before we jump into today's series, we're going to talk about the donations really quickly. If you like the Nordic Classic and you want to support the prize pool and you want to make things just a little bit more exciting for both the players and the viewers, you can go to the front page of the Nordic Classic and click on that donation link. Said link is also in the description below. And you can donate to the tournament prize pool. So far, for donors, we have Some Penis for Your Mouth, El Cypher, Wizard of War, Kron, PLA, Jatin, Bybrak, this anonymous person who is Connor, as well as Bob. Thank you so much to our 9 donors. We really, really appreciate it. Adding to the donation pool just makes things a tad more exciting. And we also really appreciate the support. So thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
All right. So let's jump into the game, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. So we're going to record a game playback, Nordic Classic, Week 5. This is Old Papi Nutz versus Last Minute. This is game number 1. Again, this is a top 8 elimination match. Let's take a look. And I see, Oldie, you've already picked Russians, so I know this is going to be a good match. I'm at 0 seconds whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1... Go. All right. Again, this is old Papi Nutz versus Last Minute. This looks like it's Great Sahara, one of the more exciting maps to start on. Let's take a look at the players and their nations. On the team of Old Papi Nutz, we have Strat Nutz with Iroquois, the Ferkman with Germans, and Old Dirty H with Russians. On the other side, they're facing off against Last Minute. They have Bonton with Indians, Meta Heuristics with Maya, and Wizard with Germans. So here we see a mirror Germans pick, Indians and Iroquois, the two opposing sides, and then Maya versus Russians. I don't know, Aldi. What did you think about these? Who did you think was favored on Great Sahara? Just going into it.
You know, it was. I love Russia on Great Sahara personally, so
Yeah.
I felt like that was a good spot for me. But the mere Germans, obviously, that's whoever's going to use German. But that Iroquois pick, I was like, okay, this is going to be good. We can
Yeah.
get things rolling here.
Yeah, definitely. Iroquois are a very strong nation on this map. I think this is actually
Yeah.
their best map because, a whole bunch of reasons this map's really aggressive, very open. The Iroquois heavy infantry are really awesome for raiding early on. And, Indians take a little bit of time to boom up, but once they get their economy going a little bit, they can start affording some of those elephants. They're really, really strong. Maya are definitely a solid pick for this map as well. Obviously the players don't necessarily know which map it's going to be at first, but they are a solid nation for this map. And Maya, to have a slightly faster start. Their buildings are quite tougher. They shoot more arrows, blah, blah, blah. A couple different great bonuses for this map. Yeah, I think I'd give the slight edge to your team, Oldie. I think Iroquois are just really strong on this map.
Yeah.
And so I would give the slight edge to Old Papi Nutz, and just in terms of nations. But, we've seen Wizard pick Germans again and again and again. It must be one of their favorite nations, and to great effect. Wizard has looked really, really good with Germans. So definitely something to watch out for.
Yeah, in hindsight, 2020 probably should have banned Germans, knowing that he likes them so much, but whatever.
Let's take a look at where the players have spawned. On the left side, we have the blue German player, the Ferkman, who also has silver, fortunately, next to his capital. On the top side, we have olddirtyh, the red Russian player. Then, finally, their last teammate, Strat Nutz, the green Iroquois player, spawned in the middle-ish. On the other side, we have the orange Indian player, Bonton. Right next to him is teammate, the purple German player, Wizard. And on the bottom side, very close to them, their teammate, Metaheuristics, the yellow Mayan player. I think pretty clearly this actually favors... This city placement actually favors the last-minute team quite a bit. They have control of most of the center wood, aside from this area here, but it's it's going to be easily contested. And they have this big giant wood camp all to themselves, and that's going to be a pretty good benefit. Also, Oldie is quite far in the back, and the Ferkmans also can easily be isolated. I think this setup does favor the last minute quite a bit. What do you think, Oldie?
Oh yeah, for sure. When I saw this setup, I was like, fuck, how are we going to close this gap? So it was, yeah, they definitely had a good spawn and a good utilization of getting their cities up, because they got up pretty quick too. So I don't think they had to walk too far to get to the middle. But,
yeah, it looks like all the players are doing pretty quickly, and in fact, look at Bonton already has 5 farms. Really fast start for him. Let's take a quick look at the ruin bonuses. All right, looks like everybody's just getting 2 or 3 so far. Metaheuristics only has 1. We can check back on this later. So far, it looks like Old Papi Nutz is doing a slightly better job scouting in terms of getting ruins. Let's take a look at how players are scouting, actually. Looks like everybody's just sending out their first scouts, so not much is being revealed. Interested to see what sort of build orders we're going to see, especially from the Iroquois player. If we're going to see a calm mill, if we're going to see straight mill, if we're going to see like an early civ or something like that. Really interested to see what will happen. Here we see a library placement from Bonton going to block the woodcutter's camp. Early on this is good because it kind of hinders any sort of heavy infantry raid because, the library's in the way. But later on, a horse archer there is just going to wreck your wood line. You can't get your light cavalry around. So,
yeah, the only other thing he could do is maybe put a tower a little bit out so keep the horse archers away. That maybe would be the other option to help him.
Yeah, we do see here, actually, Wizard's library is a little bit late. The Maya player is actually a little bit faster. On this side, everybody's just going to go for... Gonna tech up. Oldie, you're actually quite fast with your own library. Nice work there. And I'm interested to see what sort of build orders we're gonna see. It looks like Nutz is gonna have Mill 1 money soon, but not enough wood for a barracks quite yet. Needs to get that other citizen out soon to the wood camp. And Nutz is gonna go for Mill 1 as the Iroquois player. I think that's an excellent move. You have 2 opponents to raid in the middle here. It's not like you're probably going to get your city denied if you go for a Civ 1 or something like that. So I like this choice to get aggressive and maybe cause some damage early on. Nutz is also sending a citizen to go over and scout, but brings it back to build the barracks. I think that's a good move. On the other side, let's look. I think it looks like Wizard's also going to save up money for Mill 1. I think that's a good choice. Going to let the Indian player boom up a little bit with Commerce 1. Because when you're facing off against an Uruguay player, you really don't want to be caught without Mill 1 available. Because, their heavy infantry are quite devastating in an early raid like this.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Nutz is in a good spot here to just really harass and get things going early.
Yeah, Barracks coming out now. Wizard has just finished up Mill 1. Again, a tad bit of a slow start for him, unfortunately. Let's take a look at what the other players are up to. Looks like the Furkman and olddirtyh are both... Furkman's gone for Commerce 1, while olddirtyh, you've gone for Civic 1. I think that's a good choice. Gonna protect Nutz' wood from any potential civ. And also a Russian border push, that can be quite helpful.
Yeah.
On this side, we see the Mine player has gone for Commerce 1. I think that's a good choice. No need to rush it. You can just get your merchants out nice and soon. And I think we're going to see some action on this side. Currently, Wizard hasn't queued up any units, but Nutz already has a Spearman. I think Wizard needs to queue up a Bowman, which he does immediately. Nice choice there. And the raids are going to start on Bonton. I like this targeting of units for Nutz here. Definitely target the Indian player. It's a good choice. And the Indian player is actually going to go for Mill 1. It's an interesting choice. I think you don't necessarily need to go Mill 1 here. You can wait a little bit. Wizard, decent micro, gonna go over and not gonna have his unit go attack that random citizen that was just walking by, and instead gonna help out. And Nutz is doing a decent job target firing citizens, and that's hurting. I mean, look at Bonton's income right now. Only plus 20 food, plus 10 timber. Nice little raid there. Another heavy infantry being really annoying. And I mean, Nutz is just pumping out heavy infantry. Still doesn't even have Commerce 1 at this point. And I think it's working out well because, Wizard doesn't have enough wealth to afford another archer.
Yeah, and that's the idea, right? Iroquois just get in their face and just keep them on their heels. But it can backfire, so you don't want to get too raid happy. As you can see now, the comms coming out, so he'll be able to start getting his economy up now.
Yeah, and that was definitely worth it. You obviously made these early on, and you probably could have not made one of them. But I mean, it's totally fine. You can just get your comm up. You're not hurt too badly by this early raid. You caused definitely a bit of annoyance from Bonton, and you stopped Bonton from going Civ first, which is definitely going to hurt. We see the Maya player going to go for a forward city. I love the city position for the Mine player. Maya, you really want your cities at the front side, and have your teammate cities in the back, because Mayan cities are quite a bit stronger. They also shoot extra arrows, which is really nice. On this side, we see the German player, the Furkman, is quite a bit ways ahead, has all these resources. What do you make of this barracks placement? I don't really like it at all. It's just way in the back.
Yeah, I think the idea was just to counter, thinking raids were going to come. So I think he just was going to, the idea being defending all the back rears there. Papi caught, so that's, and die. That's my only thing there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just seems not. It feels like it's just not close enough to reinforce. Would have liked to see this tower that he's building at the front actually in the back to protect Cotton and his wood camp. But whatever.
That would have been a better use. But
yeah. We
do see. This is great team play here with the Maya player getting that city in front. That's gonna save Bonton's cap from any trouble.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
You see that, and Bonton's gonna drop a tower to his west here, so that's gonna help pick any raiders coming from that side. So this is just a great formation to have setting up here for last.
Yeah, definitely. Also gonna help deny any sort of usage of salt here, unless placing it carefully. And I think. Honestly, I think Bonton could have skipped Mill 1 and just gone for Civic, because Wizard was going to get out those units, and so I think that even further reinforces the fact that Nutz' raid was definitely worth it. Nutz is also doing a good job just moving his units around the back line, although just as I said that he has a stationary unit, but whatever. He's doing a decent job floating those units around the back line, and also has the scout in the middle that can't actually see anything. A little bit sketchy there, but whatever. He did a good job early on, so.
Yep.
Everybody's going to get out their second city, aside from Nutz, who has just now put it up on that side.
And it looks like this tower is going to get denied. The tower's trying to go up, and it just got denied here at.
At Smolensk, yeah.
Yeah, he was going to try and tower there, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about the rares quickly, because it seems the game has slowed down a little bit. Let's start with last minute. So for last minute, they have Sugar next to Mayapan. They've got Amber, Bison. Those are all kind of exposed. In the back, there's Gems, which currently Metaheuristics is using to good effect. Peacocks, Copper, Silk, Spice, Tobacco. So pretty interesting set of rares. You know, they're not insane, but they're solid. Nothing you can really complain about. On the other side, for the team of Old Papi Nutz, they have Salt, which is pretty exposed. They have Cotton. They have Silver, which is an awesome rare. There's Relics, which is kind of exposed. Dye in the back. There's Papi over here, which is also exposed, but Ferkman's parked 3 units there, so that's not getting raided. Obsidian. On the top side, there's Diamonds. Citrus on the right. Citrus on the left there. Horses over there. Cotton. Wool. On the very right side, there's Furs. Or on the top middle right, there's Furs, and then there's Wine and Marble on the very right side. I'd say like fairly balanced. I would give the slight edge to Old Papi Nutz here, but
but it's not like it's not heads and shoulders. Yeah.
No, definitely
cool.
not.
And Nutz is doing a great job raiding in the back here still with these little hoplites, so that's nice work from him.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at the unit kills so far. So far, Nutz has killed one, the Ferkman's killed one, and Metaheuristics and Wizard have both lost one. You know, nothing insane. Not like the 3 unit kills we've seen in the past. And we do see olddirtyh, you've gone for Civic 2 in Ancient Age. Very interesting choice. What can you tell us about that?
Well, it's kind of I see Nutz putting a lot of pressure on. He's got them on their heels. So I took this as an opportunity here, trying to take this big mountain away. That was really my goal, and to keep just border pushing here on Champonton. So the idea is just to kind of cheat a little bit, not have to go mill, because I feel like Nutz was doing a good job kind of keeping any pressure off me. And plus, you get that Ancient Age attrition. It's hard for raiders to come in to Russian territory without burning up. So
yeah, that's true, definitely.
Got a little greedy, and we'll see if it pays off.
Yeah, this forward city is pretty good. You know, it's gonna cramp the borders again, and it looks like Metaheuristics Gems Merchant got raided, which is a bit unfortunate for him. Gonna send in Bonton a bit awkward here. Gonna have a caravan moving to this Gems area. You really don't want to do that generally. It's quite awkward.
Yeah, especially when there's raiders running around. That's some free plunder back there if they get picked off.
Here we see Wizard doing a good job moving in the back line, but fortunately or unfortunately, Old Papi Nutz is not using diamonds or horses. And it looks like that's because they haven't scouted them. They've actually done a really terrible job scouting there. No offense, olddirtyh, but there's like a whole back area they haven't scouted at all.
Yeah, I think we just got so focused on the middle. We just said, forget the back. Just get this... try and take these forward position. Yeah,
now it looks like everybody has aged up. I like this Senate position from Wizard. It's nice and forward, so when you start raising it, if you need to, it'll go down. It'll die easily if they try to come in with units.
Yep, it's true.
Metaheuristics points out this caravan finally. And everybody looks like they're just booming up. Metaheuristics actually went for Calm 2 in Ancient. I'm not sure if that's going to help him out. I'm not sure if that's going to help him out in the long run. Used Silk, but that looks like Silk got raided by Nutz. Nice move there.
Well, he's got some good food income, so far so good.
Yeah, it looks like we're not going to see any sort of super early aggression anyways. There is a stable coming from the Ferkman, but he already has Senator, so not too surprising there. Would like to see the economy go up a little bit more. Also a decent tower at Berlin to both fortify the city and also protect silver. Gonna get a granary up and start getting the economy up nice and high. For Nutz, already has Mill 2 actually, and gonna go for a some sort of aggressive push. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a despot or a senator. It looks like based on how his money is gonna be, he's not gonna have enough metal for senator, so it's probably gonna be despot. But that's a very early siege factory.
Yep, gonna be some action coming there soon.
Wizard gonna go for Senator, but floating actually a lot of resources. Really needs to spend it. Get Mill 2, put down a stable, which he does, or maybe even at this point you can put down a wonder if you don't think your opponents are being aggressive. But clearly, Nutz is gonna be aggressive on this side. Nutz continuing the raid with this heavy infantry. Nice move. Wizard does have an archer here to hold it off. Let's see if Nutz micros it away. Looks like he is going to be able to get away with it at very low HP.
Yep. Yeah, Nutz is doing a good job just harassing and bothering in the back there.
Yeah, and this tower from Bonton is really nice. It pretty much denies Salt entirely. And we see the Furkman's actually given Nutz some metal. Nutz is going to go for Senator. I think that's a good choice. It's not like they're insanely ahead. You know, they got some early damage done, but nothing too like critical. So there's no need to Despot. You can just get your Senator up and then work from there. Nutz really needs to work on the economy a bit, as does Wizard, to be honest. Wizard's economy is not doing the greatest. Needs to get some more farms going. This is not really a German economy. It's like...
It's like a Russian economy.
Yeah.
Or Spanish or something. But you see, Furkman's got a good German economy rolling. Needs a little more gold, but overall he's looking pretty good there.
Yeah, actually, and interestingly, if you look at meta heuristics has 0 metal income. Looks like that denying the mine strategy it worked out, and meta heuristics is going to go for this back city to get this +8 mine here, which I think is a good choice. Again, everybody seems to be playing like they're chilling right now, so you know, no need to get greedy or anything. I actually would like to see a wonder out of some of these players. Here we see olddirtyh, you're doing a decent job raiding with this light horse, going to pick off this archer, but your light horse looks like it's going to get picked off by Bonton's light horse. So it's a fine trade.
Jockeying for those gems. Yeah, it was back and forth with those gems. They did a good job. Just keep reinforcing. I think at one point, each one of them had sent someone back there to protect the gems. Right now, Bonton's turn to guard it. So good job for them to defend those gems. And now here's the early attack from Bonton on
Trier,
Yep.
Gonna start sieging away at the city. Actually, I think a better choice would be to siege at the tower. Honestly, really, I don't see any major need to go for that. And in fact, Bonton doesn't have government yet. Needs to get Senator up and rolling as soon as possible because you know this game looks like it's not going to end anytime soon. But actually, Bonton's no, never mind. I thought he was going to go for Despot, but I almost panicked, but we're fine. Here we see the Furkman with a really solid raiding party. This is 5 cavalry units, 2 horse archers, 2 cataphracts, and a light horse. This is a devastating raiding party if controlled correctly. Let's see what he does with it.
Yeah, he's just using those German, getting those resources up, and now he's starting to spam out some units, so that's nice.
Yeah. I would like to see somebody grab a wonder, because it looks like, you know, we're kind of just chilling. Oh, actually, on this side, I missed it. Sorry. Wizard was way out of position, gonna lose the city to 2 heavy infantry, actually, and a bunch of horses from olddirtyh. The militia are pulled. I think that's a good choice from Wizard. Gonna take back the city. Although I think he should have put down another city before taking it back, but whatever.
Yeah.
But Wizard's economy is actually quite hurt by this. It has a lot of food and timber that he's not spending. We'd like to see a pyramids go down. Because I think getting the wonder early like this is probably very much worth it. On this side, the Furkman has a massive army, actually. This is quite a large army. He needs to get into the caravan to improve that wealth income, but otherwise, the resources are very good. Bonton finally gets Senator. I'm going to go for Civic 2 as well. That economy is not the best. On this side, Nutz' economy is not great either, as is yours, olddirtyh. Looks like you guys are just getting up your infrastructure, getting up Mill 2.
Yeah, well, I saw Nutz go aggression there, so I pivoted my strategy a little bit. I was like, well, shit, let me try and get some units out and help them on Frankfurt.
And I mean, you guys did take it. It was good, but you know, ultimately,
you see all these light horses. You know, that's a ton of food and wood. I could have been using for you know, economy.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you invest in early. You know, sure, you're hurting your opponent. If you look at Wizard's score, is actually quite low. But other than that, you know, it's not great. We do see Nutz is doing a good job with the knowledge income, and olddirtyh are also doing a good job with the knowledge income. Here we're going to see a bit of a skirmish here between Bonton and the Furkman. Nutz is going to go for Colossus. I think that's a good choice. And these elephants are doing a lot of work against these units. But there's actually, I don't think there's enough units for Bonton to hold it out here. I actually don't know where his Senator is. I was out of position, so he's probably going to lose this fight. There's also 5 units garrisoned in this tower. Terrible mistake here from Bonton. Could have easily won this fight if you look at the numbers. You know, right now the fight's going like roughly even with all these war elephants, but easily wins this fight if he has either Senator or the units out here, but doesn't, unfortunately. So he's going to have a more even trade than to be expected. Here we see another militia pull for for Wizard, gonna need to pull his militia once more. Has tons and tons of timber, but gonna lose a lot of these units. But it looks like Metaheuristics is here to help out with a couple cavalry, and that's gonna pick off the units for Nutz, whose population is kind of suffering, as is yours, oldie.
Yep. Yeah, they did a great job defending. Like I said, wasted a lot of resources there early trying to support, but slowly starting to bounce back now.
Metaheuristics is going to go for pyramids. I think that's a solid choice, but actually he has no caravans right now. I don't really know why. His wealth income is going to be really hurt by that. On this side, again, it looks like Wizard's food income just hasn't recovered. Needs to put down like 3 farms immediately and pump out some more citizens.
Yep.
And so far, it looks like this.
Staying busy there on the side, trying to regroup. Now he still has all those units in the tower. He needs to pull those out so he can start pushing again on Trier.
Yeah, definitely getting the production up again. I think Bonton needs to get the income up. Actually, his general income. I mean, look at that food income. Only 120, only 110 timber. Has some slots to be filled, and also can make another mine, as well as another caravan. Really needs to get that income up nice and higher. I actually would like to see, we've seen the devastation of an elephant raid. Would like to see Bonton go around the back and raid Papi. That would be a really strong raid. There's currently nothing protecting it actually, and just taking out those three merchants would be definitely worth it, especially basically for free. But it looks like they're not doing a great job of raiding. It looks like Wizard's forgotten about these couple units back over there as well. And oldie, you're doing a decent job raiding. Gonna raid Amber on this side with a couple cavalry. Nice work there. These mines completely exposed, aside from, this is a mine city, but that's it. So nice job raiding. And oldie, you're actually gonna go for Science 3 in Classical Age. I think that's a solid choice because, you can age very soon anyways.
Yeah, it was silver, so I got a little greedy there, trying to catch back up because you can see my economy's still really not that great.
No, it's not. Only 40 metal, 50 wealth.
Yeah.
Although I will say, you're doing good damage to your opponents. The raid was quite good. Gonna kill 2 merchants and I think a citizen. Nice work there.
Yeah,
and you're gonna get away with most of your units.
That was the idea. Is get in and raid, hoard a little bit of resources so when I age, I can upgrade a bunch of stuff, and then just try and get my economy going, in age 3.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Wizard has recovered somewhat, gotten for Science 2, and getting the economy up nice and rolling again. Would like to see plus 150 wealth income.
Yeah, you see Wizard's score is just hurting right now, being the German player.
I think he just lost a bunch of units earlier, which is hurting him quite a bit.
It slowed him down, yeah.
Old's gonna age and is leading the score by quite a bit. Unfortunately for him, the economy is not really there, but we'll be able to get literacy very soon. And this is quite a large army from the Furkmen, but also, and on this side, Bonton's just booming along, getting the economy up and rolling. Again, I would like to see somebody grab Hanging Gardens. We've seen Wizard actually do quite good work with Hanging Gardens in the past, I believe. So would like to see him get it. He's going to go for an age instead, which is fine. Also needs to get the 3rd city, where is the 3rd city?
I don't see it.
He's put it down somewhere.
Oh, in the back right there. No, that's not a temple.
It's over here. It's behind Bonton cities.
I see it.
Yeah, single citizen going over there now.
Just way in the back there.
Yeah, and let's take a look at Nutz' economy. This is actually not a great economy at this point in the game. Nutz is not actually using silver. Doesn't have that much wealth income. This Colossus is good, but it's not super helpful if you don't actually have that much income going on for you. And Nutz, unfortunately, just hasn't has been investing a lot in military early on, so hasn't been able to take advantage of the Colossus. But admittedly, at this point, you got to get another wood camp, put some more workers out there, get it rolling, get that wood income up to plus 200, and that'll also boost your food income a little bit, and also improve your metal income, and then obviously your wealth income that goes with it as well.
Yep.
Looks like Wizard is going to go for Hanging Gardens as I suggested. A nice move there. And on this side, again, Bonton's going to start pressing into the German city of Linz. on the left
So
side.
you look at this Ferkman army now. It's a lot of decoys, but he just aged. He's gonna be able to upgrade those. He should be
Yeah,
able to
let's
here.
take a look at what this army is looking like in reality. There's 5 light cavalry, 4 archers, and 6 heavy infantry. You know, as soon as he upgrades those, he could probably take out this army of Bonton, because Bonton doesn't have that many crossbows, and crossbows are good against the heavy, the primarily heavy infantry army here for the Ferkman. The Ferkman's going to go for a snipe on the sieges. Bonton's army is not forward enough. These sieges are going to get sniped by 5 of these light cavalry. Bad move there from Bonton.
It looks like one might survive, but still
yeah, I think Ferkman
hurts.
could have committed for that, just taken out that last siege. Probably trade like 2 light cavalry for it.
Yeah.
Now both players are upgrading their units. On this side, we're going to see a bit of skirmishing. Looks like Nutz is going to upgrade his units as well, as is Wizard. Wizard, again, this Hang Gardens might pay off in the long run because, you know, Nutz is doing all right in the economy, but this is not really Colossus army nor economy here. Again, really needs to just pump out some citizens. There's a lot of food, mines to be filled, farms and woodcutter camps to be added on. Although this is a really nice raid again from olddirtyh. Gonna be really, really annoying. 5 cavalry this time, 2 light cavalry, 2 horse archers, and a knight. Really, really annoying against the currently defensively postured Mayan and German player here.
Yeah, and again, the idea is just keep harassing, keep them kind of off kilt, let Nutz boom up a little bit, try to get my economy back in order. Now you see Nutz coming in and start pressing on Vienna.
Yeah, another raid. This raid continues. There's no attrition from meta heuristics, which is going to hurt a bit. But meta heuristics has been booming up quite a bit. Look at that food income, plus 250. You know, if he sells 1,000 of that, he gets a ton of wealth to put out more scholars or just even more units. Or even get attrition, especially. Mayan Towers definitely helping out quite a bit here. But gonna lose some units. There's these sugar merchants here, which are exposed. On this side, olddirtyh, we see you going for Colosseum. That's an interesting choice. I don't know if I agree with that.
Oh, well, you know, it's Russia, man. You get that border push and the extra attrition.
Yeah, but it's like... I don't know. It feels like it's not... You know, you'd rather have a couple more sieges or more units. You don't really want to make your allies' wonders more expensive. We do see you also going for Forbidden City. I like that choice a good deal more. Forbidden City is really great because...
Yeah.
It's an extra city. It gives you a lot of income, and it's you know, if the opponents take your capital in a sack, you know, whatever.
Yep, that's right.
All right, Nutz is going to start sieging. Chooses actually to target fire the university now because he recognizes, okay, well, I'm not going to break both meta heuristics and Wizard here, and I actually really would like to see Wizard start getting aggressive. Needs to get a smelter at some of these mines, and then pump out get a siege factory to start attacking. Because currently, I will say, olddirtyh, you don't have that much army because you've been working on your economy, and you know, I feel like
I've just been raiding and trying to boom back a little bit.
Yeah, and when you play against this playstyle, right, the playstyle of your opponent. You know, your opponent's just booming up a little bit. You know, they're playing it nice and slow. They have a smallish army, but it's nothing too scary. You really want to just get up in their face and force them to make army because you don't want to fall behind in tech. Look at meta heuristics' economy. You know, he has a lot of resources, but he's not using them, and that's definitely going to be really annoying. Really needs to spend that money quite a bit. I would like to see
just ton of food.
Yeah, a ton of food. Would like to see some more teching and also some more raiding in the back and just everything. Just spend your money, really.
Yep. Yep, fair enough.
University's gonna fall. This is nice usage of the Iroquois power. They're hidden here, and Wizard doesn't have a scout currently. Only has a lookout in the back. Gonna fight here with Nutz. Nutz looks like he has a larger army.
Yep.
But Wizard is on his own territory, and these Vandals are actually a good deal better than these Spearmen. Spearmen are just faster. That's their only advantage, whereas Vandals are tougher. They have more HP. And this looks like just a slot. This is like a sword versus pike battle. Looks like Nutz is gonna lose this fight actually, and that's really not ideal for the Colossus player. This is a nice tower at the front though. Gonna do some nice work.
Yeah, those German Vandals are just a pain in the butt, and unfortunately the Iroquois also, their archers aren't the best either. So it's just a tough situation to be in.
Yeah, we do see here, Wizard's actually floating quite a bit of resource. Needs to get Science 2 and then Comm 2 immediately, and also get a smelter, like, a smelter at this city, please. Please, smelter. You're Germans, please.
Yeah.
On this side, looks like Bonton has stopped his assault and is going to go for a rotation. I think that's a good choice because currently Furkman has no sieges, and that means Bonton's free to rotate if needed.
Yeah, Kirkman's just on a full defensive tilt there. He does have Siege Factory up, so...
Yeah, you can start pumping out sieges soon, but, you know, it currently doesn't really have the economy.
Yeah, and Bonton's, you know, he's doing okay right now. He's got a decent little army here.
Metaheurist is going to go for a Terracotta Army. I think that's a good choice. This game looks like it's not going to end anytime soon. So you can just get...
his economy's booming right now. He's still got all that food.
Yeah, again, needs smelters, but, you know, I imagine he's probably... Look at all these techs that he's getting. 17 scholars. Let's compare the knowledge incomes quickly. So for Nutz, plus 99. For olddirtyh, you've got plus 129. For the Furkman, 109. On the other side, we've got Bonton with 110. Bonton with 110. Metaheuristics was plus 125, and that's going to spike pretty soon with this literacy here. And then Wizard with plus 142. I think clearly last minute is favored in the long game, in the knowledge race at least. It's hard to say who's ahead. I think this game is very even, and you can tell by the score. You know, there's only a 100-point difference at 4,000 resources. I will say I would like to see a rotation from Bonton, like a really aggressive rotation to go and help out his allies take a big fight to try and swing the momentum to the side of to Wizard and Metaheuristics. Because currently, you know, both sides are just booming up, and in a long game, you know, the team with Papyrus is going to win out. Papyrus and Relics is going to win out, generally speaking.
Yeah, for sure, yeah, no doubt about it.
olddirtyh, looks like you're very close to aging. Nice move there, getting your smelters up and running. Has a very nice economy, aside from the wealth income, which you can't really do much about because you don't have that many rares. And at this point, you know, it's been a while. You know, if you didn't scout it earlier, you need to scout it now. Just really scout the back line here. Another skirmish between Wizard and Nutz. Nutz is going to lose this fight again. Really unfortunate for him. You know, you don't want to lose fights like this over and over as the Colossus player. But you got to do something, right? You got to keep up the aggression of some type against an opponent with Hanged Gardens that's just booming along. Although I will say Wizard's not doing a great job producing scholars or getting literacy. Really needs to click on those buttons. olddirtyh, I also got to at you. You don't have literacy either, even though you had science for a while. And that's definitely going to hurt your knowledge income quite a bit. You have 15 scholars. That would be a lot higher. Now you do finally click up on literacy at 29 minutes. So we'll be able to get to age somewhat soon. Here it looks like Metaheuristics has a decent knowledge income himself. Has 4 cities of scholars, so should be able to pump out some more. It doesn't even have that much population quite yet. And now we see olddirtyh starting to siege the city of Trampoton, although I don't see that going down because there's a sender here, there's plenty of units, there's a tower, and this is also a Mayan city and Mayan tower, so...
yeah, it takes forever to siege these things down. But the idea is just to keep pressure here. I just didn't want him rotating over to Nutz. So I was trying to get Nutz in a position where he can just kill here on Vienna, because Vienna's still pretty exposed. The Senate's not raised. So,
yeah, but I mean, if you look at the economies and the army sizes, I would say Wizard's quite a bit ahead of Nutz. And if you look at the scores, Wizard is 700 points ahead of Nutz. I think there's a reason for that. Nutz just hasn't been investing too much in his economy, unfortunately, which has led him to become far behind against a Hanged Gardens player, who's doing very well for himself.
Yeah, it's tough. And on the other side, looks like Furkman's still got a decent army. He's up.
Yeah, this is a pretty strong army, although I will say the army composition's a little sketchy. You know, you really don't want this many light cavalry. Light cavalry are an awesome unit, but especially in medieval age, they're not as good as knights. Knights are way, way better. You especially don't want this many of them. Like, if you accidentally walk them into a bunch of pikes, you know, most of your power of your army is gone.
That's true.
Only has 4 crossbows also, and I think he's hurting definitely for a lot of wealth income, because it looks like you guys are short on wealth rares, whereas your opponents have a couple, which is definitely helping them out in the longer game.
Yeah.
And again, I think this game is very different if if you guys scouted your back line, right? You have diamonds, you have horses. I think you would be much more ahead than
Yeah, it
the
could
game
be,
currently is.
but the other issue is I don't know if you noticed, Purple's been constantly looking for raids back there.
Yeah, that's true. And
Nutz-
at this point, you know, it's at this point it's almost a good thing that
Yeah,
you
and
guys haven't used those rares.
Yeah, that's kind of hindsight, because now you see he's going to sneak back. Looks like he's going to use horses now, and maybe something else, diamonds maybe. But yeah, they were looking for those raids steadily back there, so we would have probably lost a bunch of merchants anyways. But
yeah, here I would like to see Wizard start sieging. It looks like he does have 2 sieges here. Gonna start sieging the infrastructure of Nutz, because he has a much larger army than Nutz. He's gonna age sooner. And I also would like to see Bonton go for some sort of raid. Bonton going for Commerce 3 instead of Science 3. Not a good choice at all here. Really, really bad. Science 3 is way better, and I think this is showing Bonton's lack of experience compared to the other players in this game. Oldie, looks like you are going to age up. This is a great economy.
Yep.
Gonna get your bombards. You already have a couple slingers ready for upgrade. And I imagine heavy knights and light cavalry will come soon. Nice choice. And you've actually moved the Senate to the front because it seems you're pretty confident that the city won't go down, which I think is true. There's 2 towers here. There's a fort. There's a temple. Everybody can rotate here easily. It's no problem.
yeah, and I have Forbidden.
Here on this side, a big confrontation between Bonton and the Furkman here. Let's see who's going to come out on top. But most of Bonton's army is ambushed, so I don't think the Furkman realizes how many units he has. And again, these light cavalry are good. Currently, he's just kiting backwards. But these Mahouts are quite good against this sort of strategy. You know, Mahouts shoot while they fire, and they actually shoot the same damage. And I think Bonton actually doesn't have the supply wagon very nearby, and that's gonna hurt him quite a bit. And also the Furkman's not doing a great job microing the Senator and has no armor, and is gonna lose this fight as a result, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like it. But fortunately, Bonton is taking some damage here, so he should be able to survive this attack.
On this side, we see Wizard and Metaheuristics getting ready for a charge. I think they just need to force march in and take out these sieges, and then that'll be the end of it. Because, Oldie, currently you have a very small army. On this side, the fight continues. Looks like Bonton's just going to clean up all of these units. Looks like there are 2 spies from the Furkman. Those are good, but there is a scout here. It's not going to stop the first bribe. That first bribe definitely going to hurt a lot. But these elephants are doing good work. These siegers are unupgraded, and currently Bonton's economy is not really great. You know, going for Commerce 3 like that's not useful if you can't get to plus 250 income, which he's nowhere close right now. Gotta go for Science 3 now. And, you know, could have had just a much faster age if he just waited a little longer.
Yeah, now you're seeing Wizard age, Metaheuristics and age.
Another big skirmish here between Wizard and Nutz. Nutz, I think, is going to lose this battle again. Taking all these losses over and over again is really tough. Nutz is also going to age now. And that silver is definitely helping out in the long run here for you guys.
Yeah, it is. But you know, they're getting a really good boom going. You see the scores now. It's going to be tough from here.
Yeah, last minute have achieved a 500-point lead. But Oldie, it seems like you've stabilized your army a little bit. You're going to start pumping out some units. Actually, you're going for democracy. You know, I know you're a lover of democracy, but I think this is a bit much. I think you should definitely go for monarch in this case.
Yeah, I debated it, but I saw Nutz was in trouble. I was like, well, I might have to switch over to be in a defensive mode. So I was kind of thinking more defensively. I should have monarch. I probably would have been able to kill him here with monarch. But
yeah, and here, you know, I'm not entirely sure what happened. I think Bonton just threw his army away basically against his opponent. Bonton had a much larger army. Won that fight definitively. But
it's mismicroed. I think the wagon got sniped, so he started burning a little bit.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah.
And it looks like the mine player is going to tech up now. Going to finally get some of those knights rolling and heavy cavalry and stuff. On this side, it looks like Wizard's going to begin sieging Onondaga, which is quite scary. You know, the Iroquois player economy still hasn't quite reached its peak. And if you look quickly, what you mentioned earlier, Oldie, Wizard is actually using furs and diamonds in the back. Really sneaky play there. Nice move from him. It looks like, Oldie, you're going to be able to take this city now. Although there are a lot of arquebusiers from Metaheuristics, the heavy knights aren't upgraded. The light cavalry are, which has a lot of... Actually, this is an insane amount of cavalry. I think Metaheuristics should just go in and wipe out your army here. Because if you compare the populations, Metaheuristics has 110 and Oldie, you have only 80.
Yep.
Here we see gonna go for Onondaga. Oli, I assume that's why you're rotating. If Metaheuristics just comes over with all of the army, all of those cavalry, should easily be able to take out Onondaga, and that would definitely swing the momentum of the game to last minute. Let's see if he does that. He is moving all these units. The cavalry are coming. Looks like he forgot this stable, which is might be crucial. That's 8 heavy knights that aren't even upgraded yet. Looks like we're going to see a big engagement here. The units are definitely burning in this Russian attrition. No supply wagon for Metaheuristics. Needs Monarch as soon as possible. And Wizard's doing good work, but his army composition's not really there. Going to get these sieges picked off. Retreated a little early. All the sieges will die. Should have stayed behind and protected the sieges a bit. Now, still no Monarch from Metaheuristics. That's really going to hurt him. Looks like he just hasn't clicked up on the button. On this side, Bonton is just... I don't know what Bonton's doing to the Furkman, because Bonton's metal income's terrible, no smelter. Gonna go for Temple of Tychal. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's Metaheuristics. Yeah, Bonton's metal income's terrible. He doesn't have maxed out scholars. Or wait, he doesn't max out scholars. Doesn't have maxed out caravans, that's what I mean. And now the Germans player has aged, whereas Bonton's still a little ways away. Still needs like a minute or two. And that might be the crucial fight, because on this side, Oldie's doing a great job keeping the pressure on, but Wizard is way ahead of... I think a good amount ahead of Nutz, because Nutz just hasn't had the time to recover. Look at his economy; it's only 130 or so.
Yeah, those fights were bad, and it just says it's a tough spot you're in. They just got a chance to boom. It's hard to come back against these kind of boom. I mean, you look at Wizard's economy; it's just on point. Same with Metaheuristics.
Wizard's gonna lose a siege for no reason. And now they're gonna go to Oldie's capital. I think that's not a great choice. I think there's really no need. Just attack Onondaga. Old Dirty H does have Forbidden City, so it doesn't really matter. Now we see Wizard gonna go for Porcelain Tower just to cement the boom. That's a great economy. Really, really strong. Would like to see a Science 4 or Mill 4, especially using that furs that he has at the top, and just mass army, because currently Nutz is definitely behind a little bit, and so I think they could take advantage of that.
Yeah, and I didn't realize how far Nutz was behind either. I thought he was doing better.
Yeah, Nutz just, he went for an early aggression, and it didn't really pay off. It definitely did slow his opponents down a bit, but then he didn't do a great job booming it up. So that's why his economy has been suffering a little bit compared to his opponents here. On this side, let's take a look. Bonton looks like he's about to get run over by the Furkman. Only 83 population to actually 81. Not sure where that difference is. It looks like Bonton's just not using granaries or lumber mills or smelters at all. Not ideal by any stretch of the means. You really need that economy up. Because I think this game, I would say at this point in the game, I would say Old Papi Nutz is slightly behind, and the reason they're only slightly behind and not way behind is because Bonton's doing a really bad job with the economy. And we've seen this a couple times. Bonton is it looks like he's just not as experienced as some of the other players on their team, which is a bit unfortunate because Wizard and Metaheuristics are doing a great job just winning their side. But Bonton's just not booming it up, and that he's gonna lose this battle eventually. No smelter. This is a free mine that he could be using. Very, very safe to use. Get a smelter going, and also get all those other resources rolling along. But otherwise, his army is really small. He just can't afford continuous trades. Here we see, although you're pressing in, but it's really, really hard to attack into a Mayan city with so many arquebusiers.
And so many towers just kept going up. It felt like every time I killed a tower, 2 more would arise. It was very, it's frustrating to go into Maya sometimes.
Yeah, and you can't even
economy.
Yeah, you can't even rotate because otherwise you'll lose your massive metal mine here.
Yeah, exactly.
So you just have to keep on holding them there, keep on pressing, just try to siege down cities. Furkman's gonna go for Monarchy. I think that's a great choice against the Iroquois player, who's still almost has recovered, but not quite. If you compare the economies, just big difference there. Wizard's gonna go for operations. That's gonna be a really good move, and it looks like it's gonna be a ticking time bomb if Wizard can kill can kill Nutz before the Ferkman kills Bonton. Bonton again, it's just the economy. He would be ahead or even if he focused on his economy just a little bit more, especially that middle income, but he's not. So
yeah, and he's rotated out of place. I mean, he's up here with meta heuristics can defend just fine, being Maya.
Yeah, there's really no
army.
need to
Yeah,
do that. Meta heuristics actually going to go for democracy. I think he doesn't necessarily need this. I think he should just send. I think he actually at this point I think he should just go for mill as opposed to government because he's pop capped. He has tons of resources floating. It's not like he's like democracy versus you want to get monarchy usually as soon as possible because you get cheaper cavalry. But democracy, your power is healing, right, and production speed. But production speed doesn't matter for pop capped, and healing you're already healing with senators. So
that's true. So it's not going
to. Meta heuristic says build more troops to orange. And here we see a big cavalry run by, gonna take out some of these sieges and stuff. Not sure how many kills he's actually getting, because the city's capped. Now we see Meta Heuristics, who is sleeping on the job a tad. These light cavalry doing good work against the sieges, but the heavy infantry from the Ferkman are there, and Ferkman's economy is much better than Bonton's at this point. Again, it's the metal income. It's just really bad.
Yeah, and you see now Wizards pushing on Nutz cap. Nutz is some trouble here.
Yeah, definitely. This is a massive German army, operations, a monarchy, and Meta Heuristics is like, okay, you know what, screw this. I'm just gonna go over and help, which I think is a great choice. If they can just kill Nutz, take Colossus, and hold it for a while, I think even if Bonton dies, I think they're fine because they have Colossus. They have a slightly better boom going. It looks like. Looks like Nutz is taken out, olddirtyh. You're out of position, but it doesn't matter because you probably can't win in a fight against both of them anyways.
Yeah, their armies are too big at this point. It's very difficult.
But that is a really long timer. It's gonna be 5.5 minutes, and that's plenty of time for Bonton to die on this side. Although it does look like the Ferkman has lost a lot of units. That cavalry run by of like 13 light cavalry or something from Meta Heuristics really helping out. But again, in the long run, Meta Heuristics or Bonton is going to lose because he just has no metal income. I have no idea why he's not putting out a metal mine. Smelter, really inexcusable. Again, I know I've said that a couple times, but really just not ideal here. Now we do see Meta Heuristics, that choice to go democracy is hurting him quite a bit. Going to take a lot of damage via attrition on this against Old's army here. Although the army composition is a little bit funky. Has all these dragoons, but dragoons are not really great against heavy knights.
No, they're terrible against heavy knights. They're good against infantry, but that's it.
I would like to see Wizard, who's currently just sitting here with the army, just rotate and just kill Nutz. Like, take all the cities.
Yeah.
Because Nutz's economy is literally dead. They just need to kill Nutz now and hold Colossus, and then Meta Heuristics can hold off olddirtyh while Wizard goes to save Bonton there.
Yeah, and they're repairing the city now. Well, it's 1,000 hit points, so it's going to be hard to take it back with a siege anyways. You see a good army here from both. Ton of Aquaversiers from Meta Heuristics. So I was trying to micro and snipe those with the Dragoons.
Yeah, definitely. But, Dragoons are definitely tough to deal with against Arquebusiers. It's not 100% clear which has the advantage, but Meta Heuristics is just pumping out heavy cavalry over and over again. If he goes for Mill 4, look at those resources for the Maya player. Wow.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's an insane economy. Gets Mill 4, gets a couple more scholars that, I think it doesn't matter if Bonton dies. I think he's totally fine. On this side, we see, I believe that was Nutz still trying to raid and be annoying on the backside. I think that's an excellent choice. You can't just, if you're gonna die, you gotta take some hits with you. Gotta take some things with you. And now we see olddirtyh, you're taking advantage of the fact that Wizard and Meta Heuristics aren't microing their armies super well, and so they're gonna walk into attrition for a good amount of damage. Now we see actually the Ferkmans come and rotated. This army's actually quite small on this side. Looks like Bonton's going to be able to take the city of Linz, kill a couple scholars. That's going to hurt quite a bit here. The wealth income's really shook. But I think that's what you have to do in order to take back the city of Onondaga.
Yeah, it's the last chance, right? Get all the armies over there.
Yeah, Nutz has a couple units, not very many. His economy is really bad, and that's because he's continued losing cities. Going to lose the city of Howadaga now. There's a bunch of sieges from Wizard, and this is quite the sizable army. I'm not even sure if your combined armies can take it down.
Yeah,
there's a lot of Carabineers. It's a really tough spot for you guys. No idea who's going to win here. But it does look like last minute. It looks like they're likely to win this game. I think. I mean, it's hard to say. Anything could happen.
They're in a good spot right now. They just got to hold.
Yeah, needs 3 more minutes of holding.
Yeah.
I would like to see an entrench from Wizard, and Metaheuristics, mostly Metaheuristics. President's going to heal up your units, and Metaheuristics has actually gone for the operations that I recommended earlier. A nice move there, and Bonton doesn't really need to do anything at this point. You know, he's pressuring a little bit, but it doesn't really matter what he does because his teammates are doing the work for him currently.
Yeah, I mean, once he got that big of a boom going, they didn't even need Bonton at this point.
Yeah, now the Maya player is going to go for commerce, has finished operations. Looks like Nutz captured back his city with a single heavy infantry. That's a nice little move there, and they're going to get sandwiched, but their armies are a lot larger. Again, there's no entrench, which I think it would have made a big difference. I think they easily hold this if they have entrench.
Yeah.
But instead, it's going to be kind of close. Let's take a look. I have no idea who's going to win this. This is just a flurry of action here. There's still 2 minutes left on the timer. But it does look like Oldie and the Furkman's armies are massacred for the most part. Old still has a lot of his dragoons, but those are going to get taken out in short order by Metaheuristics, who's continuing to pump out the heavy cavalry. And it looks like this battle's going to be over. I think I would have liked to see the Furkman go siege Colossus, honestly, because I think that's the chance that's one chance they have. But given that hasn't happened yet, I think this game is over.
Yep.
Still a minute 30 seconds left, so we're gonna wait it out. But I mean, look at those resources for Metaheuristics here. Although I will say, I don't think, does he not have smelters, or I don't really know what's happening here. Wizard says we got this. Nutz calls GG.
Yep.
Well played,
Yep.
And GG is called well played. Really nice game there from both sides. That was definitely a back and forth game. I really liked that game. That was a lot of fun to cast. What do you think, Oldie? How did you feel about that game afterwards? You know, definitely a really close one.
You know, we just let him boom too much in the middle there. I thought, you know, Furkman would be able to kill Bonton kind of easy, but for whatever reason, just things weren't clicking, and I thought Nutz was doing better than he was doing. So if I knew Nutz was further behind, I would have probably stacked up at his cap more and pushed with him there rather than focusing on Champontone too much. But anyways, it was still fun. It's a fun game.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun. We do see Metaheuristics and Wizard with the most kills. Or, oh wait, that's Buildings Raised. Never mind. We see Wizard with the most kills, and Bonton actually with a decent number of kills, but also a bunch of losses. I think pretty even game. Ultimately, they were, you know, despite their opponents having Papi and Relics, it was the team of last minute that was able to boom up a little bit better. They had it seems like the better wonders, and they used them a little bit better. So. That is going to be it for game number 1 in this exciting series.
Yep. So GG on that one.
GG. All right. So let's load up game number 2. Really excited to see that after such a close game number 1. All right. I'm at 0 seconds when you're ready.
Go for it.
3, 2, 1, go. All right, so we've got Southwest Mesa. Pretty interesting map with all the natural boundaries. Let's take a look at the players and their nations. On the side of Old Papi Nutz, this is game points. They're a game down. They really want to win this game and then come back in the third game. It's Nutz with Turks, olddirtyh with French, and the Furkman with Greeks. And they're up against Bonton with Chinese, Metaheuristics with Japanese, and Wizard with Americans. Clearly, you know, we're seeing the nations that are it's rush versus defensive. Chinese and Americans definitely better for defending, whereas Turks and French definitely better for attacking, and Japanese and Greeks being more well-rounded.
Yep. Yeah, the idea is we want to get aggressive here after blowing that first game. Let's just get some aggressive nations and get out there and make something happen.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, that's one of the ways to take advantage of one's like skill advantage. First of all, it's the micro, right? And second, it's about knowing what text to research when, and what you need to be spending your resources on when, for these early rushes. That's where a lot of the higher skill players can get an advantage over their opponents.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm interested, Oldie, I no spoilers obviously, but I would love to see a despot from you this game, as a French player.
I know you would. I know you would.
And it's definitely going to be hard. Wizard, is a great boomer, definitely, but
Yeah.
okay, boomer. But Americans, they don't have too many advantages early on, so if they take a lot of damage early on, it can be really tough for them to recover. And obviously Chinese, not really my favorite nation for Nomad in general. Unfortunately, they're just not super great at anything aside from booming. And then Japanese obviously are amazing. We saw Metaheuristics really be one of the key players on his team last game, so definitely interested to see what he can pull off this game. Let's take a look at where the players have spawned. So for the side of Old Papi Nutz, we have the purple French player, olddirtyh.
Yep.
His teammate, Nutz, the green Turks player. And on their right, their ally, the blue Greeks player, the Furkman. And opposing them, we've got the red Americans player, Wizard. His ally, the yellow Japanese player, Metaheuristics. And finally, with the really, really late city, which I don't really know why it's so late, we've got Bonton with Chinese.
Yep.
So it looks like all the team members are pretty close together, and they're kind of far apart from their opponents. So we might see a bit of more of a boom game, although I imagine Old Papi Nutz doesn't want the game to go pretty long, because Turks and French, those are pretty aggressive nations. Greeks can boom decently well, but really, I imagine it's meant to be more of a support nation for this sort of attack.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The idea is to get aggressive, from the beginning. That was the idea.
Yeah, and it's not like when you're picking nations for games like this, you don't always have to pick 3 like all aggressive nations, right? You can pick 2 aggressive nations and then a third nation that's like the nation that has space to boom up, and that's kind of what we see here, right? The Furkmans in the back has a good amount of time to just sit back and boom up for a little bit. Doesn't really need to worry about dying early, because clearly, Nutz and Oldie are going to put on the aggression with Turks and French, two of the most well-known aggressive nations in their respective tiers. So, if the Furkman could get a nice boom going off the space that Oldie and Nutz can give him, that'll be good enough. On the other side, it's going to be about if Wizard, Bonton, and Metaheuristics can really hold off the Turk and French assault. I think it's going to be quite hard, because Oldie, it looks like you have horses next to your capital. I would be salivating if I was you.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a good break for us right off the bat. So that made me very happy to see that early.
Yeah, as for those of you who don't know, horses is one of the best aggressive rares, especially for a French player. First of all, it saves you a farm, so you're a little bit faster. You can just get a merchant there. Second of all, it gives you a little bit of metal income. Third of all, obviously, the stable units is really important for a French player, especially. It's going to really, really make things a lot more powerful. You're able to afford more of those insane heavy cavalry units. So definitely something to be scared about if you're the team of last minute. Let's take a look at the ruins quickly. Looks like Metaheuristics is definitely suffering for some ruins. Only a single ruin so far, but he is Japanese. That's going to slow him down a bit, but he's still doing okay. On the other side, does look like on the other part, Bonton only has 2, but Wizard has 175 ruins. Everybody else on Old Papi Nutz has at least 4 to 6, so they're doing pretty well for themselves.
Yep. Gotta get out there and scout. It's gonna help get things moving along.
Let's talk about the rares quickly, because it looks like everybody's just going to go for commerce, given that they're all so far away. Let's start with the team of last minute rares-wise. They've got, on the top side, there's Wool, there's Relics next to Beijing, there's Dai on the edge of Bonton's territory. On the very left side, there's Papi, there's Furs, and there's Silver. There's Copper on the bottom side over there. And then the middle, there's Citrus and Silk. Those are pretty contestable. On the other side for Old Papi Nutz, they've got Marble on the bottom side, Horses, as I said earlier. There's Peacocks as well as Gems. On the top side, there's Diamonds, Tobacco, and Cotton. Clearly, this we've seen this a couple times. Clearly, the last minute has the better long game rares. Relics, Furs, Papi, Silver.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are insane long game rares. Really, really strong. So it's all about if they can survive to late game, and also obviously if they scout and use them. And on the other side, it's going to be up to Old Papi Nutz to raid those continuously or end the game really quickly. Definitely going to be an interesting game for that. And we do see, the rares for Old Papi Nutz aren't bad either. Diamonds, Gems, Horses. Those are excellent rares for a French despot or any sort of aggressive push. Also, there's another wealth rare, Peacocks and Cotton, which is not the greatest, but it is passable, right? It's not.
Well, it gets the unit production up, so you can really pump out units quickly. It helps with that, so that's nice.
Yeah.
And
Here we
Silk
see-
in the middle there.
Yeah.
If someone can jockey for Silk.
Bonton says no rares. I think they just haven't done a great job scouting. There's like 4 awesome rares in the back.
Yeah, I just gotta open them up.
Yeah. And it looks like Wizards actually going to sieve forward. I actually don't really like this choice. I think Washington's in a really defensible position. And so I think I would like to see him sieve backwards because, you don't really want to sieve forward against the Turk players. Although, admittedly, they don't have many great... it looks like they haven't scouted many great rares, so maybe, they're like, we don't have many great rares, maybe we want to rush because they probably have good rares.
Yeah,
hard to say.
That's true. Yeah, that's probably the thinking. It's just, let's find some good rares and or deny them, before they can get them, kind of thing.
Looks like everybody has gone for a Commerce Civic build, except for Bonton, who's just a bit slow. Again, put down that city really late. Also not using any rares currently. Let's see where this one is going. This one's going to Wool at the top. Yeah, it's just unfortunate for last minute. They haven't scouted any of their rares in the back line. Just a bit unfortunate for them. They have Papi and Furs and Silver. Those are all awesome rares to have. But if you don't scout them, they're no good at all.
That's right.
Do you see a brief pause going to come out?
Yeah, and all is calm on the front now. No mill yet from anyone.
Yeah, looks like olddirtyh, you do have enough money, so you're going to go for mill on this side. The Turks player also going to click up on the mill button, using diamonds to good effect. Let's take a look at how Old Papi Nutz is scouting. They're doing a little bit better. They've kind of lucked into all of their rares. They've done a pretty good job scouting the back lines for the most part. And then, obviously, last minute, they've just been a bit unfortunate. All these large swaths of area aren't doing a great job scouting. Meta heuristics can really get that citizen moving along. Gonna turn on Auto Explorer, which is never ideal. But if only they knew they had so many great rares. Huh?
Yeah, Auto Explorer is just not the best. The only time I'll use it occasionally in spots, like if I'm just having a hard time locating a city, I'll throw it on Auto Explorer just to kind of open the city up, and then I'll re-manual explore once I find it.
Yeah, usually what I do is the only time I use Auto Explorer is when I'm playing Dutch or Spanish and I'm on Great Lakes and I just need to find all the fishermen and I'm just too lazy to set the waypoints. I'll just Auto Explore the free ship.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah.
We do see a barracks coming from Meta Heuristics. It's actually in a pretty interesting spot. It's away from his city, Yanago, and instead pretty close to Washington. How do you feel about this barracks placement from Meta Heuristics there?
Yeah, it's very defensive, I guess. So I'm thinking maybe because he can defend Washington's capital and Yanaga. Maybe that's the idea, kind of have the barracks in the middle.
Yeah. Meta Heuristics says no, raid this game. Strange. I actually don't think it's that strange because clearly all of the players were kind of far separated, so that's probably why there's no raid. We do see a pretty forward barracks for Nutz here. Gonna go attack Yanago and raid it a little bit. And still they haven't unboxed any of the rares in the back line. This is kind of like that last game where we saw Old Papi Nutz not unbox diamonds or gems, all crucial rares for them.
And here's a pretty sneaky move here from Ferkman using relics as the Greek player, just chilling there with Bonton.
Oh yeah,
That's
Bonton clearly doesn't notice it. Just like,
Yeah.
oh, my ally is also blue, whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell if you're zoomed out, so maybe he's just, just presuming that it's one of his other guys.
Yeah.
But why would you be using relics in Age 1 unless you're Greek?
Yeah, and for that matter, why is Bonton using a relics? He could be getting his food and
Yeah,
come
that's
up.
a good point. Yeah. Yeah, the only time if I use relics in Age 1, it's like right before I'm about to age, I'll drop them in there just to get the super fast age.
Looks like the
That's
Japs
about
player is going to go for Commerce 2 in Ancient, and they haven't scouted Silk, which is going to hurt them quite a bit. And it looks like, olddirtyh, you guys have not scouted Silk either. That's also a crucial rarity to scout.
Yeah, I know. I definitely could have used that for sure. But I did scout Silver. If you notice, I'm sneaking the Silver in the back there.
Oh, a nice move there for olddirtyh. And finally, Wizard scouts Silver there in the back, and the French player has gone for Commerce 2. This looks like a Com 2 Despot to me, and I think that's a good choice given how many wealth rares you guys have. You have diamonds, gems, peacocks. Although, have you scouted gems? Where's gems? I definitely saw that you had gems earlier.
Yeah, I'm not using them right now. I'm using diamonds, peacocks.
Yeah, it's on top of Nutz's second city, and it looks like you guys haven't scouted that. Outpost scouting, dude. Outpost scouting.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Looks like you're being forced away before you can actually use the silver, which is unfortunate for you, but good for old Papi Nutz, or not old Papi Nutz, for last minute here.
Last minute, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I might have went back to use it again. I can't remember. Maybe I didn't.
Right now, Wizard's just harassing this merchant with a citizen. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
You want to keep on it, make sure it doesn't circle back around to reuse it. We see
But
Nutz
looks
gonna also
he's
try
gonna
and sneak
sneak
around. Nice move there. Nutz has actually gone Mill 2 already. I think this is a good choice from him. I think you should go Senator actually in this spot because olddirtyh, you've gone for Com 2, and I think you just guys pile it on the aggression. After
Yeah,
that.
exactly right.
I think there's no need.
that's it.
I don't think you need a Despot because it's unlikely you're going to kill an opponent who is Japs and they haven't taken any economic damage at this point.
Right.
But if you go Senator and just get a nice aggressive push going, it's really hard to beat a French Despot who's Com 2, especially if they haven't taken any damage.
And diamonds. So
Looks like olddirtyh, you're going to lose that merchant to a citizen
I
run
know.
by.
That's annoying. Oh well.
And Wizard's going to put
that's
down a
life when
mine here, it looks like. I don't think this is a great mine position. I think, well, it's way more defensible if you put your mine somewhere near your city, but I guess, whatever. It's acceptable. I would like to see Wizard actually go for Colossus. Obviously you're against a Turks and French player, but they haven't shown any sign of being aggressive yet. And you haven't actually seen many of their rares. They don't have super great rares so far. You've only seen gems. So I think going for Colossus could be a risk that's worth taking. Although, hindsight is 2020. Obviously, it does look like olddirtyh and Nutz are going to try and rush. So I guess in hindsight, it's not a great strategy.
Yeah. But let's push. This is the idea here. See.
Americans
got
players
Mill 2
delaying
coming.
government for some reason. Not really sure why. I guess he's thinking about it. No, he's going to go for Republic now. Definitely a good choice, especially in a possibly longer game. Now we see the silver. Silver is being used by meta heuristics, and again, they just haven't scouted the back line super well. They haven't seen Furs or Papi, and that's really going to hurt them in the long run. Those are their best rares, and they actually don't have that many rares. They also haven't scouted Die, I don't believe. Oh, they actually do see it now, with meta heuristics getting science, I believe.
Oh, and then Bonton finally saw this relics and raided it, but after Ferkman used it for about, 10 minutes probably.
Yeah.
5 minutes at least. So
Let's take a look at how Ferkman's doing on the knowledge. Wow, that's a lot of free knowledge that he got, I think.
Yeah.
Everybody looks like they're just booming up. Senator from Nutz, nice choice there. I think there's, at this point, you want to attack at the same time as your allies. And so you got to wait for olddirtyh to boom up a little bit before you really start getting aggressive. Looks like you guys are actually going to build your production buildings at different spots. Interesting choice there. Can you talk to us about that, olddirtyh?
Well, the idea was I was gonna have Nutz go in and attack. whoever got our army up first, and it seemed like Nutz was going to put the pressure on to get them to rotate, and then the other could flank from the other side, and just kind of keep doing that, kind of keep poking from both sides, and then whatever city we take, we rotate over and sit together in that city. So that was the strategy.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's going to work out well for you. And then Metaheuristics says, okay, Republic weird, and then they see that oldie dirty went despots, so I think alarm bells should be ringing for them. Now we see Wizard going to go for Mill 2. I think that's a good choice. Oldie's already gotten Mill 2, has a pretty decent economy. Still haven't scouted gems, which would be quite good in this spot, but whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of production coming out for all sides.
Yeah, at this point, it's just economy's good enough to get some units out. So that's the focus now. Is just get 2 stables down, upgrade some of my units here, just get ready to go rock and roll, put pressure on Portland.
Yeah, and I will say, one thing to note is this is an advantage. We talk in Resignations often about the defender's advantage. Oh, there's a nice raid from Nutz. Has 2 horse archers, and a heavy cataphract. This is going to deal a good amount of damage, especially if Metaheuristics isn't paying attention because they're ambushed.
Yeah. And he's just chilling there for the moment, see what they're doing, and now here comes the rest of the forward army.
Yeah, going to target fire these citizens. Nice choice there. Going to kill off one. And there's a lot of units here from Nutz. Metaheuristics seems like he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And Oldie, you're sieging on this side. You have a decent-sized army so far. Economy's doing pretty well. In addition, there's actually only 2 sieges from Nutz here. The other 2 sieges are kind of just chilling in the back.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he just forgot about him. And you see Bonton coming up top now, putting pressure on Ferkman. It looks like Ferkman's going to rotate in and help Nutz a little bit.
Yeah, has a couple units, 1 heavy cavalry, doing a decent job. And now we see Nutz doesn't need to kill the city. All he needs to do is keep Metaheuristics here while the French despot players is getting army up. And this is a very nice French despot army so far. A lot of light cavalry, 2 stables, a nice choice, especially when you have horses. And Oldie, you're doing a good job poking in.
Yeah, I want to see what he's got. I figured he had a ton of archers. He actually didn't. I thought he'd have more archers than he did.
Yeah, 3 archers, 3 phalanx. You really need a good amount of phalanx in this army, unfortunately, because you just have to make sure you don't lose against all these cavalry. And it looks like Wizard's not doing a great job microing, just kind of walking in and losing some units to
he's focused too much on the siege rather than taking out the horses. He could have really did some damage on the horses there. But he just
and now the light horses are going to sneak in, start attacking the archers, and that's going to hurt. Looks like Wizard's going to lose this fight because he's just not microing as well as Oldie is. Good job, Oldie, for nice micro. So far, you've lost, I think, a phalanx and 2 light horses, although you are going to lose another one over there.
I lost 1 catapult, which is fine. I built.
Yeah, you don't need it at this point. You can kill easily.
Yeah, I killed on this side, so that was nice.
On this side, the Ferkman is doing well. Metaheuristics is here with a bunch of citizens. I would like to see all the militia just pulled so you can get rid of this push. Because really, that's what's stopping you from saving your American player ally here. And again, this is the issue of the French despot. You have a really nice economy, and your opponent, even though their economy may be slightly better, the French player is trading much better, so it doesn't matter in the long run. In the long run, the French player is going to win out because they have a similar if slightly below economy, but they're trading much better in terms of resources spent.
And getting those plunder from the despot, you're getting that plunder, so that's nice.
Yeah. Also, the healing is insane. Obviously.
Healing, with the supply wagon on the despot, you're getting that healing from all over the place. So it's
we
nice.
see Metaheuristics going to rotate. I think you need to rotate at this point. Just need to get something going, and Wizard's going to go for a bribe. Bribe is going to finish. Going to bribe a Chevalier. That's an awesome pick. And now, Oldie, you're forced to retreat, but that's fine because you can just build up your army once more and get rolling once again.
Yep, just a temporary delay in the action.
And Wizard really needs to get the economy rolling along. Has lots of resources, lots of production that he could be using. And also, Metaheuristics needs to upgrade his units. All these bowmen and Ashigaru spearmen are no good against the upgraded French army that's quite large. All these
Here
militia
comes
as well,
Nutz
just
back.
free plunder.
Nutz coming back with a big army himself, 6 siege. He's taking attrition, but it's going to melt the city pretty quick. He should
Yeah, there's only a single tower. Metaheuristics is out of position. And this looks really bad for last minute here.
Yeah,
Looks like Bonton's taking the city.
Bonton's doing good work. Bonton's taking the city up top, so good for him. Bonton's doing some work on top there.
At this point, I think Metaheuristics should just say, screw my city, I'm going to fight it out with this French despot and just hold him off until the American player has some time to recover. But he's currently just walking back. You know, you want to fight if both your armies are clearly weaker than your opponents. You just want to fight one at a time. You want to double one of them at a time.
Yeah.
And so now this game looks like it's over. The French despot player is just booming along. The Turk player has a big army, and Metaheuristics now is going to be the one that gets sandwiched. Again, I don't think he made a good choice by going to rotate on top. I think he should have just stayed down here and tried to fight off the French player.
Yeah, it's just it's one of those things, right? You're under pressure and you're doing what you gotta do. But good job from Bonton up top, putting pressure on the Verkman, keeping him out of it. So Bonton's winning that 1v1 right now up top.
Yeah, that he is. He needs to make something happen because otherwise their team is gonna die. I think I would like to see Bonton just go straight for Istanbul, which he sees, and just pump. He just needs to spend all his resources, pump them all into units, because both his allies are losing their respective 1v1s on each side. So really needs to make something happen. But currently he's just sitting there with some sieges and not doing much, making some production. But again, you need to make something happen.
You see, Metaheuristics did take your advice and rotate down to double.
Yeah, but it's a little late at this point, you know.
Yeah.
The French despot has gotten insane trades, you know, now what are you going to do about the Turk player? You can't, you know, he's just booming along. He's going to be able to age soon. 12 scholars, actually.
Yep.
Actually going to try and sneak to silver and use it for aging. Excellent move, sneaky move from Nutz there, and really nice work. Because there's nothing there to defend it, and so he's going to be able to use it for free.
Yep. So good work on that for sure.
Very sneaky Nutz, nice work.
And you can see Wizard's economy's taking a huge hit here. He's got a ton of metal and wood. But pulling all those militias slowed him down quite a bit. Portland's completely exposed again. Here comes the French regrouping.
Yeah, and here, Bonton, I just don't know what you're doing, right? You have more army than the Verkman, and there's nothing protecting Istanbul. Just go back and take it out. Like, you have sieges there. I don't know what you're doing.
Looks like Verkman just sniped all those sieges.
Yeah, because I mean, Bonton has a bunch of heavy infantry, and heavy infantry are good against these light horses if you can get them in position, but actually, looks like a bunch of them are going to get picked off right now. And the Verkman's doing an okay job microing them.
Yep, and just keeping Bonton away. Looks like Nutz is going to rotate back and protect Istanbul for momentarily.
Yeah, and I think that's a good choice. He's aging up. No need to risk any sort of aggression here. Now we see olddirtyh, you've taken advantage of this side. Wizard's just taken a lot of damage in terms of economy. I mean, look at that economy. It's really, really poor.
Yep.
Whereas Metaheuristics, he's out of position again.
Yeah, he's out of position. He went back. I think he was just kind of getting ready. You see, he's put all these towers up at Yonago, just getting ready to defend there. But unfortunately, now he's letting this line break, and now we have a free shot here at Washington soon. So, and again, this was kind of the idea. Whichever side we could penetrate, we're just gonna go from that side. So Nutz is aged. Bonton's aged also, but he's I'm not sure exactly what he's doing. He's got a bunch of
yeah, I don't really know either. Where's his army?
It's just
there's a couple of heavy infantry and 2 cavalry in the city, but that's it. But like, you know, at this point, this French player is going to be really annoying again, just pressing into the Americans player, who's still really far from aging, still needs a lot of food to age.
Yep.
Japanese player also is quite far from aging, unfortunately for him. And now the Turks player is back with a vengeance, has upgraded sieges now, crossbows, pikemans, and this game looks like it's going to be over very soon.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to hold this. He does need a supply wagon, but other than that, he'll be able to keep pushing here pretty easily. And I'm not sure. Bonton just kind of took his foot off the gas. He was doing pretty well up top, and then he just kind of backed off. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he really needs to either kill the Furkman or take out Nutz's capital there, because he needs to do something. Otherwise, both his allies are losing their respective 1v1s.
Yep. And now Wizards clicked up to Age.
Yeah, not sure how he managed to scramble together the food, but you know, that's still, it's good, but it's not great, because crossbows are still kind of bad against French heavy cavalry, even if they are H2. And this is a much larger army for the French player. A lot of decoys, but pretty strong army there.
Yeah, that was my commitment. I told him, I was like, I'm not even going to worry about aging. You guys do that. I'm just going to keep pumping out units and just keep pushing. And because I already know, yeah, even if he gets an age up, as long as I have a large army, French cavalry is great. We're going to get that healing. Getting that plunder, it doesn't matter. You know, we'll just keep pushing.
Yeah, here we see meta heuristics putting down some towers, but towers aren't really what the ideal strategy to counter a Turk player who's going to get Mill 3 now and get the tactics upgrade. That's going to be really bad for them.
Yeah, and you can see that's a pretty good army composition here. He's going to be able to just mow through this.
Yeah, this is a nice army. The only complaint I have is these horse archers. They're not super useful, but lots of crossbows, a couple of pikemen, a bunch of knights. That's really the ideal medieval age composition for the most part.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, oldie, it looks like you are going to start gathering some knowledge. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You're just way ahead at this point compared to the Americans player, whose economy is still kind of suffering. I think Wizard needs to invest in his economy a little bit more. He needs to sell some of this metal, get another wood camp going, and then pump out a bunch of crossbows to make something happen, to get both resources and army, because I think that's one way he can possibly recover from this, although oldie just has a massive army at this point. 76 population to the 32 of Wizard.
Yeah, and I had a bunch of gold, and I got a free university, so I was like, I might as well start booming a little bit.
Yeah.
Get my knowledge up.
And Bonton's just like, Herder, I'm going to take my sweet time, I'm just booming up, and that's going to mean his teammates are going to die soon.
Yeah, because Nutz has control of Yonago again. He's not going to lose that, because as you know, the Turks get that super fast assimilation. Is it times 200 or whatever? 200x?
Yeah, something like that. This timer is going to go down really
fast.
quickly.
Yeah. So he'll have control of that. Washington's in big trouble.
He's getting tactics now. Nice move there. His economy is not the greatest, but I mean that doesn't matter. He has such a large army, and the Japs player economy is whatever. It's also kind of meh. So.
Yeah, and you look at the American economy is really taking a hit for this constant pressure. And now Bonton is going to go into Athens. Maybe he can get a sack here.
Maybe, yeah. He has one siege, not many units. Honestly, if the Furkman just pulled militia, he can probably hold this off.
Yeah, that's true.
But the Furkman looks like he's content to just let the siege slowly siege away, very slowly. Again, we see Bonton only with plus 40 metal. Again, it's the metal income that's really hurting him this game. Does have a second siege coming along, doesn't have a supply wagon though. The siege is actually walking away.
And now you see we're executing our idea here. Now we got Washington at a pincher point, so we're just going to come in and put pressure on both sides. And meta heuristics is way out of position. Doesn't have an army, big army anyways. So it's going to be trouble for him at Washington.
Washington's going to be taken easily by these two upgraded armies. Wizard's putting up his best effort, but he lost his senator. He has a tiny army compared to both of his opponents. Meta heuristics is out of position once again, but it doesn't matter. They even if he was in position, he can't beat either of these armies one-on-one. Wizard says GG here. Yeah, it's been GG for a little bit.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I mean, Bonton was their only hope there. I mean, he was playing well up top, and he just kind of
petered out. I don't really know what he's doing. He's gonna go for Science 3 now. Maybe if I boom enough, I'll be able to beat 3-on-1.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah. Meta heuristics and Wizards armies are trashed, and this game looks very over. I'm gonna start fast forwarding if that's okay with you, oldie.
Oh yeah, sure.
Nutz is gonna go for Turks, or gonna go for Colossus. I mean, just for funsies, and the Furkman's gonna go for Forbidden City.
Wizard just gonna
And
be
Metaheuristics
eliminated
and Wizard
outright.
called GG. Well played.
Yeah, it was a good one. Good bounce back game.
Yeah, let's take a look at the unit kills. It was actually Bonton with the most unit kills, surprisingly. I think he killed a bunch of militia there at the end, which is what gave him the edge. But we see Nutz and olddirtyh with a lot of kills. And the kill ratios are very high as well. I'm going to update the score. Yep. That's going to be 1-1 in this exciting match and series. Now it's going to be up to game number 3. I'm really interested to see what will happen there. So, olddirtyh, do you want to talk to us about how you were feeling at this point in the series?
Well, I mean, honestly, we felt good in game 1, but for whatever reason, it just got away from us. A good bounce back game in game 2. So then game 3, the same idea as game 2. Let's just get that early pressure on, keep pressure going. Let's not give them any opportunity to boom. It's clear that they need time to boom. Metaheuristics and the Wizard can boom. They're a whole different animal to deal with than if they're constantly on their heels and they can't get that economy up and rolling. So that was the idea. Let's just keep pressure on them.
Yeah, and it looks like, I think that's going to work out for you because this map is Watering Hole. I'm at 0 seconds when you're ready.
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go. All right, so this map is Watering Hole, one of the more aggressive maps. So, olddirtyh, it looks like your team is going to get its wishes to play a more fast-paced game. Let's take a look at the players in the nations. On the team of old Papi Nutz, we've got Rui, who we actually haven't seen play yet. Correct? We haven't seen him play?
Yeah, not in this series, yeah. He's played in other previous series.
Yeah, and then we've got Rui has Nubians, olddirtyh has Mongols, and Nutz has Spanish, whereas on the other side, Metaheuristics has Nubians, Wizard has Greeks, and Bonton has Egyptians. I don't know about Egyptians.
Yeah, and bad map, bad for the mirrored Nubians, bad break for both those
not
players.
ideal. Greeks are not the best on this map. They're fine, but they're not the best. Mongols are fast, which is great, and Spanish are really awesome because they get free heavy ships. I think clearly old Papi Nutz have the much better nations for this map.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we got a good break on that.
Yeah, I just like what I just don't understand. Like what tells you Egyptians are the best nation in tier 1? You know, like what about Egyptians is so enticing? I know wonders are awesome, but like
yeah, I guess the wonders, the farms. The range cavalry, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's
I don't know.
The farms and wonders, I guess. Yeah.
I mean,
it's definitely not a nation I wouldn't pick. Wouldn't be at the top of my list either. But I guess Bonton feels like maybe he can boom.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like for me, whenever at least in my personal experience, I just haven't had that much success with Egyptians. Like I'd rather have like French or British or a lot of tier 2 nations actually over Egyptians because I feel like Egyptians, you're just like I have to make a wonder. But then I'm going to be behind
Egyptians
early.
Tier 1, technically.
Yeah.
Tier 1.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I guess.
So you're taking that over Japs or German or Mongol or Turk. I mean.
It's just like not.
Justify that.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah.
I can maybe see it over like Bantu if you're not very good at Bantu, but like I don't know. I think Egyptians for me are just like one of the weakest nations in tier 1, and so I don't really see why you would pick it. Let's take a look at the players and where they've spawned. On the right side, we see the purple Mongols player, olddirtyh. In the middle, we see the yellow Nubians player, Rui. And on the left side, we see the red Spanish player, Nutz. Nutz is pretty close to the green Greeks player, Wizard. And in the pocket for Wizard, we've got the orange Nubians player. Orange Nubians player, Metaheuristics. And on the very right side, we've got Bonton, the blue Egyptians player, who's kind of close, but not super close to olddirtyh here.
Yep. And you can see it's a great break here for Rui to get cotton and furs right there. So
yeah, those are awesome rares to have early on. And also, I think let's take a look. Rui looks like he's lucked out with the wood camp as well. +8 wood. That's really nice for him. Yeah. Nutz has a +6. And then here we see Wizard is also lucked out with a +8. Metaheuristics has gotten a +6. Bonton has gone to +6, and Oldie, you've gotten a +9. Wow, it looks like everybody's going to have enough wood for this map at least.
Yeah, so pretty good start for all players, but I would say Rui gets a little bit of the edge as a Nubian. Getting that cotton right away, that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. That's like 3 citizens, basically. You can save a ton of food early on.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the player, or wait, not players and donations. I'm taking a look at the ruin bonuses. So far, it looks like Nutz is only 1, and everybody else has 2 or 3. Fairly balanced overall. Nothing too extraordinary. And we can also take a look at the rares, shall we? So for old Papi Nutz, they've got cotton, they've got relics, they've got furs, peacocks, and most likely sugar. And on the other side, they've got spice, Papi, and salt, probably.
Yeah.
Definitely better rares for old Papi Nutz here.
Yeah, and once again, having that Nubian player just have those right in his territory, whereas on the other side, meta heuristics, I mean, he's got salt, I guess, is the only rare.
There's spice, I guess.
Well, I'm saying that right now, currently in territory. That he
Oh,
can use.
yeah. Yeah.
We're right off the bat. You know, you get furs and cotton. Those are pretty too. And peacocks territory, so that's nice too. They have sugar early for the Nubian player.
Yeah, I'm at 430 right now, just FYI.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, looks like Old Dirty H is going to go for Civic first. I think that's a good choice. Just secure that that sugar nice and early. Also, probably grab this mountain as well.
Yep.
Also, a slight problem for last minute. In addition to many of their other problems, you know, the only place they can put their dock is on the far end of the lake in meta heuristics territory, unless one of them goes Civ first. And that's going to be really annoying because, you know, you want your docks as close to the enemy side as possible so you can heal them. Because this is a map you can heal your ships, because you often, this map, you know, you're fighting over water, you end up with a lot of battles and stuff like that. So it's hard to say.
No, I agree. It's and the way this lake is shaped is just kind of a long, narrow lake, so it's a long ways away for them to go. I mean, they'll be able to defend those maybe top 2 fish and just keep using those and defend there. But the rest, you know, the other 4 fish are going to be hard for them to use.
Yeah, and you know, when you're in this situation on Watering Hole where you're probably like you're probably going to be a good amount behind early like this, like for last minute, I mean, what you really want to do is rush, right? That's what you have to do. Your opponents have better rares. They're probably going to have water control. You just have to rush. But the problem is, like, you're rushing, but like, what good does that, like, how you don't have the nations for that? You have Nubians, Greeks, and Egyptians. Those nations aren't super great for rushing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Greeks kind of because it's cheaper military. You know,
yeah, but it's like not, and they have fast heavy cavalry, I guess, but that's about it. Nubians player, their archers are fine. They're good, but they're not amazing. Egyptians player, their camels are fine. Again, not amazing. It's just really hard to say what one should do in this situation, because it's going to be really hard for them to win no matter what. Here we see Bonton going to go for an early mill.
Yep. And then Nutz is going to go Civ. I like this move because you get the free heavy ship out of the dock. Don't waste the food. You can just get this Civ going. And he can double dock and get 2 heavy ships.
Yeah, and I think at this point, old Papi Nutz have realized, okay, well, our opponents clearly don't have access to water, aside from at the very top, and there's no heavy ships out right now, so I'm just going to ignore the water for a little bit. You can just park this heavy ship right here.
Yep.
Keep him back.
And that's exactly what Nutz did, so it's a good job on him recognizing that and just letting us boom up a little bit. See, Rui calls for the long game. He said he had a bad start. But I'm already thinking I've got Bonton isolated. I just want to kill this guy. Get this over with.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, I think I would like to, at this point, you know, it's going to be hard for a wizard to win the water. Actually, I think I would like to see a barracks out of him, just to start raiding the Spanish player. Spanish players generally don't really have that many good benefits, and we do see that Nutz didn't even go for mill early, so a barracks from wizard could be quite effective, but it looks like he's not going to end up getting that, and Nutz is going to put up the city.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to focus on building heavy ships. Only 1 heavy ship, but and Wizard's saying no mines for him, so he's going to build back. Yeah, that's a smart move. And now Bongtan's got a bunch of archers coming out. It's kind of a waste of wooden gold here.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, admittedly, he's not spending that on much else. He probably should get a dock going.
Yeah.
So his allies can at least fish a little bit. You know, 2 fishermen are very good, right? That's 20 wealth win, a bunch of food income. You don't need to spend it on what do you call it? On man, I'm blanking. On farms. We see here the barracks is not gonna get denied because there's 2 citizens building it. Now a 3rd one coming along, but this citizen might die.
Yeah, he might, but it's fine.
Nice pick-off, I guess, for Bonton, but nothing exceptional. Small victory, yeah.
Yeah.
Would like to see Bonton go over to Sugar to start raiding it.
Yeah, I think he. I'm kind of surprised he didn't go to there immediately.
Yeah, these slingers are going to make short work of these bowmen here, as well as the city fire. Bad micro from Bonton. Again, unfortunately just showing his inexperience a tad. In meta-heuristics, I'm not sure why he's not putting down the 2nd city. He currently does have Civic. Maybe he's microing the water. On this side, Wizard might lose a heavy ship. That's going to hurt if he does.
Well, actually, Wizard's the only one with the dock.
Wow.
No dock yet. Yeah.
We do see a dock from Bonton, but this is a very late dock. Has a bunch of metal timber that he could have used earlier, but isn't.
Yeah, and Bonton's going to jockey for this mountain here, so this is a good city position. Put pressure on this mountain in the front.
Yeah, and also open up the area to raid in the middle, the caravan route, possibly, but that's not going to be too bad.
Yep.
Here we see Nutz going, just focusing on water with the 3 heavy ships now. Nice choice from him. And Rui's actually aging now. That's a very good economy at this point in the game.
Yeah, and he can get fire ships out and really clean up the water if necessary.
Yeah. But it looks like they're just not putting up a fight at all in the water right now.
Yeah, and that's always a bad move. And like you said, unless you're just planning an all-in rush somewhere, you got to get in the sea and at least try and control the 2 fish that are near your docks. I mean, that's better than nothing, right? Just get 2 fish at least rather than none. Because they should be able to control these 2 at the top here. There's no reason why they can't have a couple heavy ships just defending those 2 fish.
Yeah, at least for a little bit. And force your opponents to invest more in water, right? You can't just give them water for like making 2 or 3 heavy ships like that.
Yeah, because they're basically giving me and Rui a free boom to do whatever we want. You know, as you can see, we have a little tower battle going on here in Bonton.
Yeah, and it looks like Bonton's going to lose that battle because of some sketchy micro. Loses an archer for basically no reason, whereas olddirtyh, you were able to save your hoplite. And olddirtyh, you're actually going to go for commerce too. I think that's a fine choice because your opponents are just... I don't really know what they're doing right now.
Yeah, like I said, they're giving us free reign of the water. We got some pretty good rares. I've got furs and sugar, so Mills 2 is not going to be a problem. So another Com2 Despot, I think, is in order, and just try and make a short work of Bonton on my side.
Yeah, definitely. Here we see Wizard going to go for Science 1 without using Papi. A bit painful because he does have Papi available.
Yeah, that is a bummer. For sure. Yeah, they've just completely given up on the water. Meta-heuristics, still no dock.
Yeah, I don't really understand this. Wizard really needs to get up that classical age. I actually would like to see, considering how many resources Wizard has, I would like to see him go Com 2 actually, because you know he has the knowledge and the timber for it. Com 2, just go Com 2 Despot and just try to kill your opponent straight up. I think.
Yeah, that's good. That would be a good move. I agree. In this position.
Nice temple from Bonton. Gonna put the tower and the barracks in his own territory, and that's gonna be a little annoying for olddirtyh, especially if he can get a bribe going. But I don't know if he can bribe the tower with all these units inside.
Yeah, we have risk to get it sniped.
Olddirtyh, you're gonna go for age now, which is a good choice, and still we haven't seen the Egyptian player age. Really bad there. Not really much excuse for that one. Yeah. Looks like they're going to try to fight over water a little bit, which I think is good. You know, you really do have to fight over water a tiny bit, at least. But
Yeah, and you'll see some fire ships come out. Yeah, like I said, if they could even just use these 2 fish, that's something. You know, that's gonna help a little bit.
Yeah.
But to give up all 6 fish in the water that's a bad loss. Yeah, and I think this tower I knew was gonna die, so I think I just tried to age. Can't remember if I got militia or not before I raised it.
Yeah, it looks like you are aging, and you've gone Com 2 and you've clicked up on Mill 2 ahead of time. That's a nice pick there. Bonton's just really far behind.
Save metal.
Yeah, Bonton's just really far behind. Like if you compare the economies, just
Yeah, he's
know.
only got 3 archers in there.
looks like the reason why Bonton's so far behind is because he went Science 2 in Ancient Age. It's a really bad choice. You're not winning the long
it's
game
just
on this.
suicide. Yeah, that's suicide there. You got a Mongol opponent across from you. Just not the smartest move. And now, of course, because Mill 2 is going to come first, that stable's going to pop out 2 nomads right away.
Yeah, and that's going to
nice.
be brutal. I don't think there's much to defend here. There's 3 archers from Bonton, not upgraded quite yet. That's going to hurt.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, we'll see what he does here.
On this side, let's take a look. Looks like all the players are content to just sit back and boom for a little bit. There's a stable and a barracks for meta heuristics on this side. I think that's a good choice. I think at this point, Bonton's dead. He's going to die very soon, and there's nothing they can really do about it. They should just try and focus on killing Nutz as soon as possible, basically.
Yeah, they have salt also, so that's good.
That is an aggressive rare. That's true.
Yeah.
And they also have spice, which is not terrible, right? Food rare gives you some knowledge, gives you some wealth income.
And some income. Yeah, I like spice. It's a good rare.
But that looks like that's not going to happen. Greek's player is going to go for Science 2 instead. Again, just not a good choice. They're losing water, obviously. And
yeah, this is not a situation where you want to plan for the long game.
No, and it looks like the reason they're choosing to boom like this is because they haven't scouted their opponent's rares at all. They've scouted relics and peacocks and sugar, but that's it.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't see the furs and cotton, which are pretty crucial, especially furs.
Well, they're gonna see a despot coming now from Mongols. And now they're gonna know there's gonna be trouble.
Yeah. Rui says, play safe, guys. Yeah, I think so because, clearly at this point, old Papi Nutz is quite a bit ahead of their opponents.
Yep. And now meta heuristic saying he's gonna rotate to the other side.
No, just Bonton's dead. Just you gotta kill Nutz.
Yeah, because he's calling out wisely that the Mongols are rushing, but there's nothing you're gonna be able to do here to stop him. To help Bonton. Bonton just has done nothing. And he's got a temple at least.
Yeah, he's about to roll over and die. Tons of resources floating. Doesn't have a stable. Doesn't have a really anything to speak of. I have no idea what he's doing. Again, it's just his inexperience showing here. And olddirtyh, I think here you're giving a little bit too much respect to him. Really should just run in with those units and see if there's anything here. Because currently there's just a senator and 3 archers. Nothing to protect this wood camp. Not even any sort of production building. We see 3 hoplites being queued up. Yeah, just inexperience here and lack of player skill, unfortunately, for the last minute here. That's really cost them a lot.
Yeah, it's because now meta heuristic is going to rotate over, but like you said, that's not going to help at all. He needed to stay over there with Wizard and just push there. You are seeing now stable from Bonton, so that's nice.
Yeah, it's a little late. The rush is going to come in. Oldie's going to realize, okay, well, actually, there's nothing defending here. I'm just going to walk in.
Yeah.
And easily crush this side.
Yeah, it's probably about 30 seconds late there, but it's still...
Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's, This side is very over.
Yeah.
Bonton's going to lose all of his army for just throwing it away. Yeah, well played on Dirty's part, but also, clearly their opponents are not. Clearly this is Bonton just not playing well.
Yeah, and you see Despot now coming from Wizard, so he did age, so that's nice.
Yeah, that is true. He aged and went for Despot. That's an interesting choice. I think at this point you could just Senator, but it's working out, I guess. If you can get a phalanx rush like this early in, he might be able to do something. right? Take out a capital. But the Nubians player is also aging. Ruri's also aging, so I don't think it's gonna work out.
And Bonton is just in big trouble.
Yeah, this is a big army from the Come-To Despot Mongol player. Still no caravans actually, which is a bit surprising, but whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, I was using the water. Plus 60 gold is plenty. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was getting plenty of plunder.
On this side, nice raids from Nutz gonna be really annoying on Wizard's economy, which is already really bad because he's went Despot, right? Yeah, this game is very over, unfortunately, for last minute. Put up a very convincing showing game number 1.
Yeah.
Pretty solid, but unfortunately, game 2, they just kind of... Game 3, they kind of gave it away. And game 2, I think it was, you know, that it was just poor scouting and a bit of miscommunication here and there ultimately gave the game away.
Yeah, and even here, why is Meta Heuristic building 2 barracks and 2 stable, or in a stable on this side? Really, he needs to be over there with Wizard, because like you said, you got to be able to read your teammate's done. Bonton's dead. All he can do is just stall and keep, you know, the Mongols from rotating back and helping the other side. So yeah, because now what's Meta Heuristic going to do? He's not going to be able to stop this onslaught.
Yeah, it looks
He's
like...
going to have to
yeah.
You know, he's going to have to rotate back now, and then, you know, that's going to cost time. They could have already, you know...
if they killed Nutz, maybe they have a chance in this game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But now there's Meta Heuristic is just way out of position. There's no way he's going to be able to get over there to help. Rui's already H3, you know, so...
And Rui has a good economy. He's the Nubians player who has had plenty of time to boom. And this is a nice army composition. A lot of archers, a pikeman, some knights. Gonna get a siege out.
Yep. And Athens is not going to be able to hold 2 versus 1.
No, not at all.
See, Nutz was doing some good job raiding in the back there.
Yeah, definitely. Those raids really hurting, and he's actually able to keep a lot of these units alive. And
Yep.
Wizard's gonna leave the catapults exposed to some light horses that are just gonna run in and snipe him, and then he's dead.
It looks like Meta Heuristics and Bonton were able to hold for the time being.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, 2v1 they're holding off, but Bonton's dead, right?
Wave.
Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're losing the other side, 2v1. Also in the backside here, you know, we clearly see Nutz is raiding, although he's going to lose these units to militia. Nice little pick off there for Meta Heuristics, saves himself some more losses. Wizard says the map killed the game for us, GG. I think, yeah, I think so too. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's really tough to deal with. Your opponents have all the rares, and you have like 3 rares that don't really help you at all. And you also have really bad nations for the map.
And the water, so you just give away the water without a fight. It's
Yeah, unfortunately a bit disappointing for them, you know, but that is the rules of the tournament. You got to pick nations that are good on most maps, and Egyptians aren't good on most maps. They kind of suck on a lot of maps.
Yeah, they're definitely more of a support nation. You know, in the hands of the right player, you can boom with them and you can do some good stuff. But
yeah, you just gotta you have to have people players who can give your Egyptians player a lot of space to boom up. Basically, you can't have them take early damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Or get rushed or something.
Yeah, and Nubians and Greeks on whole is not the situation you want Egypt to be put in. So, as you can see, Mongol army just massing up for the final assault, healing some troops.
Probably can't take the city, but it doesn't matter. The other side's winning easily. Here we see Rui's added some pikemen to his already his small but advanced army. And Wizard has nothing just here to speak of.
Yeah, no temple. Or no, he does have a temple. He has a temple. He has a lookout. So that's good. No tower. He's got 5 pikemen, but those are not the best defensive units. And we'll help against those heavy cavalry, at least those knights. But the crossbowmen will just tear those down. And those Nubian archers, those Kushite archers are pretty nice.
Yeah, and Lexa Ruleska, who I don't know who that is in the chat, but
that's Rui.
That's Rui.
Rui.
Hey Rui.
Yeah.
Rui says it's over for last 5 minute, and I would say yes, and it's also over for last minute. They are going to be knocked out of the tournament in momentarily after this game ends. Really
now
good run for them.
Metahuristic's rotating back. Look how far he's got to go now. He's got to rotate all the way back with these unupgraded units to try and go help Wizard. And it's just, you know, he should have just been over there in the first place. Rather
Yeah.
than trying to save Bonton, who's inevitably going to die anyway.
Yeah,
So-
looks like it. Yeah, I will say nice run. It was a nice run for last minute. I think, you know, they're definitely one of the more memorable teams based on their play style. And
For sure.
you know, they definitely had some
Considering
potential.
they were a last-minute team. They just got thrown together, so it's not like these guys had any real time playing together. So good job. You know, they showed well, considering all things considered. They are a solid team.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, Bonton needs to improve a bit. He's not horrible, but he
No.
just some simple blunders here. Like you can see, he's got a nice army now. He's gonna try and defend.
Yeah,
But
but his economy is just not there at all.
yeah.
Looks like the Athens is sacked by Rui's very large army, as well as
Yeah.
Nutz's units helping out, and this game's over. GG, well played by old Papi Nutz. They had an advantage from the map, and they used it really well.
Yep.
GG is called. Again,
So-
I'm pretty impressed with how meta heuristics and Wizard played, especially in game number 1. You know, I think they have a lot of potential as players, and I'm excited to see them play in lobby matches and stuff in the future, and also possibly more tournaments in the future. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Now especially they've got some experience under the belt. They, you know, they got some games in together, and so it'll be exciting to see these players in the future for sure.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at the units or the stats here. We do see Nutz has actually the most kills, surprisingly. I think all those raids in the back really helped him out, and Wizard unfortunately has the most losses. GG, well played.
GG.
Yeah. So that is going to be 2-1 to Old Papi Nutz. So congratulations to them. They have advanced to the top 8. Congratulations, Oldie, and everybody else who's on your team. Congratulations.
Great. Good job,
All-
guys.
All right, so that's going to wrap up today's stream. And a quick update on the top 8 announcement thing. I think I am actually busy on Saturday, so we might do Sunday as the top 8 announcement. Yeah. But I have yet to update that. I'll let you guys know as soon as I figure out and when we can finalize the schedule. Please try to be there. I think it'll be really exciting if we have a lot of people watching, which would be awesome for the top 8 announcement. Anyways, we have one more match to do tomorrow. That is Underrated Champions versus Forbidden 4. That's another win it in. If one team wins, they're in. If the other team wins, they're in. And then the losing team is knocked out. So definitely going to be an exciting match. And then after that, the only missing top 8 will be that 3-way tie from Division 2 that is being currently scheduled as we speak. So yeah, please get your games in. Obviously, to those people who are playing in those playing in that group of 3. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for watching the cast. We hope you enjoyed it. This is AS Eat the Pair signing off.